Hare Krishna, Namaste, Chapter 18, which is entitled as Sannyasa Yoga. Sloka 14 and 15, Part 11. Adhiṣṭhānaṁ tathā kartā karaṇaṁ pṛthag-vidham vividhāś ceṣṭā daivaṁ caivātra pañcamam śarīra-vāṅ-manobhir karma prārabhate naraḥ nyāyyaṁ viparītaṁ pañcaite tasya hetavaḥ. The place of action, the performer, the various senses, the many different kinds of endeavor, and ultimately the Supersoul. These are the 5 factors of action. Whatever right or wrong action a man performs by body, mind, or speech is caused by these 5 factors. We are individual Atmas. We are independent to make choices, but we are dependent on the mercy of the Lord because He is the one who has given that independence to us, that free will to us. So, one question may come during that moment of exercising the free will. It appears that I am actually independent, at least for that moment of making choices. It looks like I don't need any help from the Lord. But the fact is, even to make that decision, which of our free will, we are depending on the Lord. It is very important to understand this. Else we may think we took the Shakti, the power to think from the Lord, and we are totally free to make use of that Shakti. Let's understand this through an example. Say we charge our mobile phone. Once it is charged, then we don't keep the phone plugged into the charger. We remove it from the power socket and we start using it as long as we have the battery. When the battery goes low, then we plug the phone back into the charger. This is the normal case. But when it comes to free will, it works differently. It's not the same case. In the example that we gave, the mobile phone, once charged, then there is no need for the phone to be connected to the charger. It received the charge battery from the charger and is totally free from the charger. Whereas, in the case of free will, we get the free will from the Lord. Rather, the best way of saying is, the Lord bestows us with the free will. He gives us that free will. Because who are we to get it from the Lord? The Lord mercifully gives us that free will. Then we may think that like the mobile phone, we are independent of the Lord, using the free will that I have received from the Lord. But the fact is that even during that moment of usage of the free will, we need Lord's mercy as the base. We are conscious being. Not that we need someone else to tell us what to do, what not to do. We are grown up. Our parents doesn't need to come and tell us at this time when to eat, when to rest, when to take shower, etc. They did that when we were a little child, when our intelligence were not matured enough to make decisions. But we don't need that help, at least now, to tell us when to take shower, when to get ready, when to eat, and so forth. The Lord also knows that what is best thing for us, and He is concerned about our well-being and given us this free will out of His causeless mercy, by which I need to make choices. In the parents' example, we are totally independent to make choices. In case of the Lord and us, even when we are exercising our free will, the Lord's hands are still present even during that moment of making choices. That doesn't mean that Lord is making decisions. It is me, a sentient being, who makes a decision. But with the Shakti, with the empowerment, the power that He has given under His supervision. Now after gone, we don't do everything under the supervision of our parents. But that's not the case between us and the Lord. Even though we have been given that free will, that Shakti, still whatever we are doing, the choices we are making are under the supervision of the Lord. The only thing is, He is a supervisor, takes a neutral role as udāsīna. So one more time, who is the kartā, the doer? Answer is, both the Lord and I are kartās. I am a doer who is depending on Lord's mercy for the free will. And He is also depending, expecting on my side to make initial decision using the free will that He has given to me. Therefore, He is also a doer, I am also a doer. If both of us are doers, kartās, then the instruction given in the Vedas should also be applicable to the Lord besides Jivatma? Answer is yes, but not the same instructions. Let's take an example. Say there is a huge rock which is blocking the way, and there are 10s and 20 of men who are trying to move that rock, whereas there is one person who's heading the group. Make sure that things are going fine, and at times gives them guidance and instructions. And there's a third person who says to everyone, including both the people who are actually physically working, pushing the things, rock, whereas the lead head who's giving instruction to those 10-20 men how to do that. So this third person says to everyone that let the work be done faster. There is going to be procession very soon on the street. Now when such an instruction is given by this third person to both the working members and the head of the team, the head of the team becomes a little upset and angry and tells the third person, why are you instructing me? I am not the one who's moving the rock. Then why are you instructing me? And when the third person tells to the worker, they respond back saying that why are you instructing to us when the head is there? Whatever he says, that is what we are doing. So rather instructing us, you better instruct him. When the head doesn't want to accept the instruction because he is not actually moving the rock, and the worker doesn't want to accept the instruction because their work is completely based on the instructions and guidance that they get from the head, the third person says, this instruction is to both of you so that you both cooperatively get the work done quickly. Similarly, the Vedas gives the instruction to both Jivatma and Paramatma, saying each of you do your respective task nicely to get the action completed. This combined effort is what's said in this sloka as 5 factors. Working together to accomplish an action, any actions. Say the Vedas prays to the Lord to show His mercy towards Jivatma, to be compassionate, merciful, etc. These are the instructions given to the Lord by the Vedas. And the Vedas also instructs the Jivatma to follow the guidelines given by the Lord. One important thing to understand here, though the instructions are given to both Jivatma and Paramatma, but we need to know that the principal instructions are primarily meant for Jivatma than the Paramatma. There's another side note before we conclude today's session. We saw that the Lord takes 3 stages: Udhasina, Anumanta, Dyotaka. During those 3 pravritti, Adhya pravritti, Dvitiya pravritti, Tritiya pravritti, respectively. There are some difference of opinion between acharyas. Some say that the Lord takes these 3 stages during those 3 pravrittis. That is, when someone makes a decision, he is neutral, he doesn't interfere. Once the decision is made, then he sanctions it. After sanctioning, the action to be performed is also encouraged by the Lord. This is one theory, which means whether it's a good action or bad action, the Lord is going to sanction and is going to encourage the action. Another theory by other acharyas is during all those 3 pravrittis, the Lord does not change his stage. He remains Udhasina. In Adhya pravritti is Udasina, that is during the use of free will. And during Dvitiya pravritti, that is during the desiring stage to get ready to perform action, the Lord still remains as Udhasina. It doesn't become Anumanta. When a person desires to do something wrong, bad deeds, he remains as Udasina, like how he was during the Adhya pravritti. And during the 3rd step, that is the action to be executed, called Tritiya pravritti, he does not become Dyutaka. He remains as Udasina for those bad deeds. That is to say, the Lord remains Udasina. He is neutral when one desires to do any bad activities. He does not sanction, he does not encourage that person. He remains neutral. Because sanctioning and encouraging one to do bad deeds may not be appropriate to the quality of the Lord. So this is another theory, just to be aware of slight difference of opinions among the acharyas. We have spent quite a bit of time on this particular topic because this is a very important topic where the question comes in different forms. Who's the cause? Who's the doer? Are we independent or are we dependent? So kindly let's make sure we understand what has been shared here on this subject matter. Just to summarize one more time so we get it. We are the doer, the Jivatma are the doers, but we are not an independent doer. We are a dependent doer because it is the Lord who gives us the free will for us to do an action. Just because He is making us to do an action doesn't mean He does by His choice. He does based on the choices that the Jivatma made. Therefore, He is not to be fault of being envious or being merciless. He is the Samanya Karana, where He gives the facilities to us to perform an action, and we are Vishesha Karana, using those facilities given by the Lord. Along with the free will, we make choices. Therefore, it is us who are responsible for our actions. Now comes a very important question. If I am responsible for my actions, why do I do bad actions sometimes? Why do I do good actions sometimes? We see some people only do bad actions, whereas some people are very good and does always good actions. What is the reason? Let's see the answer in our next session. Namaste. Hare Krishna.